King Yvonne had failed the people of Felhoma. Instead of taking on the challenge to calm the uprising, the once great leader known as the Father of Unity fled on a ship eastward to lands unknown. By the time the news had reached your hometown, the world had already changed for the worse, and old rivalries had once again been stoked into chaos. The kingdom of Felhoma crumbled, and the war that followed took a personal toll on you. As the war spread, so too did a strange rumor. The very ship the king had fled upon was reported to have returned, full of exotic goods, and was now moored in a place called Oldsport. If only you could get on that ship, then maybe you could put this war-plagued continent behind you for good. You couldn't pass up the chance, so you packed your belongings and headed for the eastern shores. The journey was long, but at last you arrived in Oldsport. 'Twasn't much to look at, but you were sure this was where the rumor spoke of, for you were not the only one seeking passage there. When you arrived at the docks, there was a large gathering huddled around the eccentric Captain Philibris, and his gorgeous vessel, the Resolute, could be seen bobbing slightly at the end of the pier. "I know that look in your eyes," he said, as you offered him a pint in the tavern one night. "If you reckon yourself fit for adventure, grab your things and head to the ship." Without hesitation, you did as he instructed, and before long the Resolute had found her crew and had set sail. The farther you got from the land, the more you felt at one with the ship and sea. However, you weren't fully prepared for all the sea had to offer. For shortly after passing the islands of Lashon, the Resolute was set upon by a kraken, a creature that you had only heard third-hand tales about. It was a fierce battle that called upon every ounce of strength you had in you. In the end, you had survived, but the beast had left its mark. Battered and taking on water, the Resolute would have made an easy target had another beast attacked while you were busy making repairs. But fortune was on your side, and the ship was moving again within days. Then one day, as you were looking towards the horizon, you could see with the naked eye that the sun shone with a peculiar glow this morning. At last, the first sign of land was met with cheers and embraces amongst the crew. As the sun continued to rise, it passed through a thick, copper-colored cloud that seemed to grow up out of the ground and envelop the city of Traken. The ship battled the waves and crosswinds towards the shore, but you still could only make out the faintest silhouette of the city. You were so close to your destination, but what poor timing. You were arriving at the onset of a foreboding sandstorm. The closer you drew to the shore, the harder the wind blew and the waves grew choppier. You could feel the vibrations and hear the wood of the Resolute crying out under the strain. Closer to the shore still, it was all you could do to hold on to the rigging as the Resolute was pitched and tossed back and forth. By the time it had dawned on you that the ship wouldn't be able to dock, you felt it shudder and slow as it slumped to one side and began sinking. The patch in the hull had broken, and you could just make out the captain's voice calling out for all to abandon ship. A shock jolted through your body as you splashed down into the cold water and began a personal battle with the wind and waves. Weighed down by the equipment you had feared to leave behind, you swam for your life. Reaching the shore exhausted, you wouldn't have had the strength to pull yourself onto the dock had it not been for a few kind Trakanians that had braved the storm to help pull you ashore. After helping the last of your crewmates up onto the dock, you turned to take in your destination through the buffeting sands of the storm. You had not been traveling 2 months, and you had already narrowly escaped death as many times. Now, with the Resolute at the bottom of the sea, there was no turning back, and you began to wonder what perils this adventure had in store next.